There was a time for visionaries to think, to plan, to dream. But is there time to dream these days? It's time to revise, redo, and react, to turn visionary ideas into action. It's time for Revisionaries. The Revisionary Project, an ongoing, interconnected interview series. VanJones activates the green movement towards those who need it the most, the core urban communities whose lives have been most affected by environmental degradation and social injustice. Ken Van, as the founder of Green for All and the new appointee to the White House Council on Environmental Quality, help solve two of the most crucial issues we face today: the collapse of the environment and our economy? David Gottfried, founder of the U.S. Green Building Council and CEO of Regenerative Ventures, is here to find out what makes Van a revisionary.
So in the green movement,
Yeah.
we hear of a term called triple bottom line, which is economic, environmental, and social equity. How would you describe your view of what's going on in the triple bottom line and this crisis that we see in the world?
Well, anytime you have to have the word triple in front of something, it lets you know that we're still trying to get out of another era and into a new era. I mean, at some point we won't have to be stapling together all these things. I mean, right now, I mean, it used to be, the economy versus the environment versus equity. Now we're trying to say the economy plus equity plus the environment, trying to staple these ideas together. At some point, we'll actually have emerge at some kind of synergy, some true synergy, and that will have its own word, and it'll be hopefully something simple and beautiful. And but my view about where we are on the journey there is that we've had a tremendous breakdown in all systems, and that can lead to a tremendous breakthrough. Sometimes something really bad has to happen in order for something really good to happen in your personal life. I mean, it's not after a bunch of good stuff has happened to you, you say, oh geez, I should go on a diet and change my ways and get a degree, or it's after you got fired or dumped or got a bad diagnosis. That's when you sit down and you say, I got to do something different. And if you look back at your own life, that's when those bad days actually led to all the good stuff that came after. I think that can happen in this country. We've got to turn the breakdown into a breakthrough.
So out of crisis can come enormous growth and opportunity.
In fact, you need a crisis. I mean, actually, humans are such that we'll be that frog, sitting there in the pot, just getting boiled slowly. You need a shock to the system to get us to respond, and we've got a bunch of shocks now to the system.
It's all green in a way, and green is nature, the ultimate in green, and we are of nature. But what's missing in the green movement is that human spirit. And it's become all about technology. So how do you ignite that human spirit to add it into this, to create that enormous rebirth that we need?
Well, I mean, that's what I think I'm trying to do. I mean, I think your work is pretty soulful as well. I mean, I think that we need the technology, and we need the economic models. I mean, I wouldn't put that down in any way. Sure. Otherwise, it's just all of us kind of holding hands as the ship goes down. We got to come up with new ways of doing business and new ways of interacting with each other. But I think that one thing that's been missing is just a stand that says we're going to have a green economy. We will not have any throwaway species. We won't have any throwaway resources. But we also won't have any throwaway children or throwaway neighborhoods. That it's all precious, it's all sacred. And the green economy won't just be about reclaiming thrown away stuff. That it'll be about reclaiming thrown away lives, thrown away relationships, in terms of the social divisions. And out of that, a lot of incredibly smart technology and application of technology can take place. But some of that technology, might be something called a phone call. Some of that technology might be called, holding hands and singing together. The human technology of putting people together has to become just as important to us as the physical technology of putting buildings together. As that begins to happen, though, I think you unleash an incredible amount of creativity and love and excitement. And I think that's really what's underneath all this excitement that you see around the green stuff. I mean, it's deeper than a solar panel. I mean, people aren't getting this excited, right, you know what I mean, about, you know, a carpet that doesn't off gas. I mean, like, that's the excuse that the Western mind has to give itself to let ourselves fall in love with each other again. I mean, it's the technology is really, if you think about it, is just the cheese in the mousetrap, you know what I mean, to kind of get the Western mind focused in this direction. But once you start moving in this direction, you know, there's an almost an ecstatic state, I think, that comes over people that, you know, can't just be about wind turbine technology, right? But this idea of some kind of soul level connection, redemption, the recovery of some sense that we're all family and we're all in it together. I mean, if it's just something, if you could do equity with a calculator, that's not what I'm talking about. I think that's pretty thin. I think it's about us finding each other again, believing each other again, helping each other, holding each other, and that being the basis of not just the economic recovery, but the human recovery.